Hello, welcome back again in another Unity 3D and Playmaker tutorial with me, Romi Fauzi. And we are going to continue our shoot 'em up tutorial. Last time we have created missile system that follow the enemy. But before I started in this tutorial, I want to say thanks a lot to Andreas Otten for the donation. I really appreciate it. It really helps me to go forth to continue with this tutorial. So, really appreciate it, mate. I hope you enjoy this new episode here. And in this episode, I'm going to show you how to create a score system and also the boss enemy life health or life bar, so we can see how much health or how much life does the boss have remaining. Okay, so let's get to it. First, we are going to create a UI under the boss object here, so you can select the boss enabler here, and as you can see, I've loaded the space shooter tutorial.unity. This is the last scene that we have created so far with the missile system. I'm going to select the object Astra boss, and this is the object, and I'm going to go to a perspective view and focus on this object by pressing F button under the keyboard. Okay, so next we are going to create a UI, a image. Okay, I don't know why it's on canvas because we already have canvas, so I need to create a new canvas here under the Astra boss. So UI canvas, and then drag this image to this canvas here. And for this canvas, I'm going to make this a world space, and then we are going to scale the position to 0 0, and let's scale the value here maybe to around 20 by 20. Okay, I think, and we are going to rotate the X to a 90 degrees so we can see it from the top here. And let's center the image first and set the rotation to 0 here. Set all of the value to a 0 value here, and let's make this a very small value. Maybe for the width I'm going to use 10, and for the height maybe 3 or okay. So now let's move our canvas a bit to the the blue axis here, the Z axis, on top of the enemy, and maybe we can move this. I think we are going to leave the canvas here, and I'm going to adjust the image here. So let's move this to the side here, or yeah, around it, and make a very small value for the height, maybe 0.5, and let's round this Y position to 5, so we have something like this here. Okay, now we need to set the color maybe to a white value here, and let's duplicate the image here and set the duplicate as the child, and for the child let's change it to a green color. And for this child here image, this is actually our life bar, so I'm going to change this to life bar for the name, and under the image here change this to life bar BG. So this is the background actually, and for this one I'm going to change its pivot here to the left side of the parent object, and also press shift and change its pivot to the left side also. So if we try to scale the value here, as you can see, make it a smaller value at the size will decrease, so we can see it's the life bar is decreasing here. So scale back this to 1, and we are going to alter the scale. Okay, so now let's check our playmaker here under the bus. Okay, this is the shooting mechanism and enemy lives. Okay, so we are going uh, to alter this mechanism. We're going to add couple event or couple actions to modify this life bar here. So let's do that. Under the decrease power, we have a, let's check, this is our float subtract. So this is the enemy power and this is the damage power, and right now we have a maximum of 50, so we need to normalize that. Okay, so do we have a normalized? No. Okay, in order to do that, we need to divide the enemy power by the maximum value. So I'm going to use a float divide here, and for the float variable I'm going to choose the enemy power and divide by 50. But we cannot change the enemy power right away, so I'm going to delete this. Sorry for the confusion. Just remove this and use a float operator. So this is better because we can store the value to a new variable. So first we are going to use the enemy power, and second one we are going to insert a fixed value of 50, and for the operation we are going to divide this, and we are going to change the store result to a new variable. So let's call this normalize enemy power, create variable, and this is our normalized here, and we are going to change the scale. So let's set scale here, and we are going to set the game object here. We are going to drag this life bar as a game object here, and we are going to change the X value to the normalized enemy power here. So I think that should be work. So let's disable the boss enabler. Sorry, not the boss enabler, I think this one. Okay, the child object here. Save the scene and let's try this, see if it's working or not. Okay, there you go, we can see the enemy. Is it coming? Okay, something's wrong, so let's take a look. Where's the enemy? Set parent. Okay. Oh. Okay, just use this activate game object. I think it's disabled somehow. So let's try this again. Okay. That's the enemy. And somehow the object scale, it's not working. Let's see. Yeah, it's divide, but why is it 0? And the life bar is 1. Okay, I'm going to pause the recording and check for the problem first. Okay, so I found the problem. I do make mistake times to time, so please I'm sorry. Here, as you can see, we have a float compare, And basically when the action reaches this float compare, all of this event get executed depending on the condition of this comparison. So that is the problem. We need to put this float operator and set scale on top of the float compare. So if I do this and save it, and let's test this out. Okay, and there, as you can see, I can hit the enemy, and we can see the power, the enemy power is actually decreasing. So you can see how much power does the enemy boss have left, and you can do strategy, or you can just keep avoiding and fire the boss enemy. So that is how to create the enemy power bar. And to make things interesting, we can change the life bar to a more transparent value here. So let's try with a transparent value on the green, also with the red color here to a transparent alpha. And I think it should be interesting. I want to see how the enemy bar looks like at the moment. Yeah, it doesn't seem much. So yeah, you can change it to a more transparent value, so it doesn't looks as obvious current. Okay, we have a problem here, and not a problem, I think I've disabled the damage system, or not. I'm going to check the sci-fi AK5 and the damage system, and hit by enemy. Oh, hit by enemy. So we last time I've created the enemy prefab, so I want to make sure our boss which ammo or which laser he is shooting. So create object. Okay, this is the object, and where is this object here? Enemy beam. Okay, it has a tag of enemy beam, so let's add that to our sci-fi fighter. Okay, so back to our sci-fi fighter FSM with enemy trigger. We are going to duplicate this and choose the enemy beam tag. So we are I've duplicated the trigger event and changed the enemy beam, so it detect also the enemy beam. Save the scene, and let's try it once more. Okay, no, now I've get hit and there's no explosion at all. I think I'm going to add the explosion on the player later, so I need to continue on doing the score. So okay, let's do the score now. Okay, so now I'm going to move our boss enabler far back to this point here, and I'm going to enable the group enemy, both of this group enemy, and if you want to, we can duplicate all of the enemy before, but we are going to, okay, so now we need to create the score system first before we are duplicating the enemy. So let's create a new canvas, a screen canvas this time. So this is basically a screen canvas or screen overlay, and I'm going to change the UI scale mode to scale to screen size and make sure it matches the width and the height. So set the value to 0.5, so it will try to match both width and height proportionally. And for this UI, let's create a new text. And this text, we are going to put it on upper left side of the screen. So let's choose this anchor preset here. Press Alt and choose this one here, so it will stack on top of this screen. And I'm going to align this to a middle and to the center. So we have a score text there, and I'm going to change the font to I've downloaded a font called Visitor here, and it's basically a pixelated text here. As you can see, I'm going to move this to the side a bit and change the value to 000. So we know this is a score, and change the color to a white color. We can also add a shadow component for the text here, so it's more readable. Change the distance to a 2 by, and for the y -2, so this is actually the distance on the y-axis, and this is the x-axis. So let's make this a even larger number, to 3 and -3, so we can see the shadow there. Okay, this is basically our score system, so let's rename this text to a score. And now we need to go to the prefabs here. So as you can see, we have a prefab. I think this is, I need to check this. Okay, all of them are prefabs. This is the first one, and this is the second one. Okay, I'm going to delete all of this here. Also delete this here, so we have only two prefabs object. This first one, the prefabs, and the other one, the B1 prefabs. I don't know why we have a lot of prefabs for the enemy. Okay, so maybe it's because I've prefab the groups here. I'm going to check it later. So okay, now let's add a score calculation system. So under the prefabs here, this is the prefabs. Okay, go to our enemy lives, and when it gets destroyed, we are going to create a new global variable. So go to variables and click the global variables here. We have a, this is from the high score system. Just ignore this one, the name and score array variable. I'm going to create a new integer value, and this is a global score, and we are going to use this variable to keep counting the enemy that we have destroyed. So under the destroy, I'm going to use integer add, and we are going to add this value, the global score, by 1. Okay, so I'm going to copy this action here, and I'm going to choose our other prefabs. I'm going to edit prefabs and choose the enemy lives here, and under the destroy, I'm going to paste this action. Okay, it's not working, so I have to add the action by myself. It's okay. Under the integer variable, choose the global score again and add by 1. So it should be adding our value here. And now under the score, we are going to add a new FSM. I'm going to scale the action browser here, it's too big. And we are going to use a convert integer to string. So we are going to get the global score, and we are going to convert this to a new string variable. So score in string variable, and I'm going to change the format to a 5-digit number. So, and make sure this is every frame is checked, and we are going to set ugui set text, I think. Text set text. Okay, we are going to use this action, and in order to use this action you will need to download the UGY proxy with full action under from the Playmaker wiki page. I'm going to post the link below in the description, and we are going to change the text value to the score in string value and set this also to every frame, so it will change every frame when the global scores get changed, and it will update our text here. So okay, save the scene, and I'm going to duplicate the enemy first and also duplicate this. Okay, okay, as you can see, every time the enemies get destroyed, I got a score here. I have 5, and apparently the enemy is too hard because they're enemy lives, but it's okay, we can change it if you want to. Go back to our scene. I'm going to duplicate this group a couple of times, so uh, I'm going to rename this. This is enemy group A, this is enemy group, it should be B here, so we can see. And let's duplicate the B and move it. Oh, sorry. Okay, duplicate it once again and move this here. And for the A, also duplicate this, move to this point here. Okay, and duplicate this again. Or you can create a new pattern of enemies, different enemies with a different movement. Just copy the group and create a new enemy instance first with different movement and different model. You can do that if you want to. Just check out the tutorial from the, I think it's the 4th and the 5th part of this tutorial series. I'm just going to use these 2 different group of enemies. And for the boss enabler, I'm going to enable the label so we can see it. Okay, there's the boss. And let's duplicate another one here. You can change also the X position so it doesn't show on the same X value, X position there. Let's duplicate this one, and I think it should be okay. Let's save this and let's try the game. See if it's too hard or it's too easy. Okay, there, I've destroyed all of the ship here, and not all of the ship, but as you can see, I can increase my score by destroying the enemy. Okay, I'm just going to wait this here. Okay, that is too fast, it's too hard to defeat them somehow. Okay, yeah, I'm close to destroy my own ship. But you see the ideas on how to create a shoot 'em up game here. Just create a different patterns, and okay, soon I will be get destroyed. I really suck at my own game, so there's one more group here. We can destroy this a couple, and now we can start fight the boss enemies. So hopefully it's working. I'm always nervous when I'm trying my own game. Okay, as you can see, yeah, but the boss is not too hard, so we can destroy it easily. Okay, I won, yay. But when the boss gets destroyed, the score doesn't add, so we need to fix that. Go to the boss enabler, and under the Astra boss, we can go to the enemy life FSMs, and when it gets destroyed, just add an integer value to the global score. So use the integer add and choose the global score here and add this by a bigger number than 1, of course, because this is a boss. Maybe you can add a 25 value here or bigger. I don't know, just use your imagination. So yep, I think that would be all for this episode here. So we have covered how to create the enemy, the enemy life bar, also the score, and we have also fixed the enemy blaster or the enemy beam from the boss detect tag. So our hero ship detects the laser from the enemy, so he can lose when fighting the boss. Okay, so I hope you like this tutorial. If you have any questions, just leave it on the comment below and I'll try my best to answer it. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. If you like this, please subscribe. I really happy to help you all. And if you really want to donate, feel free to donate. I really appreciate any donation. And thanks again to you, Andreas Outen, for the donation. I'll see you on the next episode, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.